Today, we're talking with Erika Wilson. During her 20 years in marketing and advertising, Erika has played an instrumental role in the growth of all companies and clients that she's worked with by utilizing her expertise to create tailored and strategic marketing campaigns to brand or build brand recognition and generate leads. She manages all aspects of marketing encompassing online and print advertising, social media, communications, public relations, and promotional events. Erika also leads all marketing research and competitive analysis projects for the firm, as well as overseeing the website development and maintenance and design of marketing collateral. Erika holds a BA in communications from Florida Atlantic University, Go Owls, and graduated summa cum laude. In her spare time, Erika enjoys spending time outdoors, traveling, and the arts. Welcome to Eventus 365, the podcast that's all about corporate events and the magic behind the scenes. I'm your host, Yanique DaCosta, and I am excited to take you on a journey through the world of corporate events. But before we dive in, let's talk about the stress of creating marketing material for your events. We all know how tough it can be when deadlines are tight and resources are limited, but guess what? YKMD Visual Communications has got your back. Our design firm specializes in working with corporate event professionals just like you, and we're here to help take the stress out of creating stunning graphics for your event. Our team of expert designers can deliver custom brand compliant designs in just 12 hours. So whether you need branding, signage, marketing materials, or anything else, YKMD's got you covered. Okay, now that that's done, let's start the show. So what are your top three most essential tools for corporate event marketing?
So definitely number one is going to be your social media or Google Ads, right? That's how you're going to target your audience and make sure that people are registering and basically selling the event to whoever is that you're trying to get to come to the event. Number two will be obviously any type of analytics, right? We use our websites, landing pages, our WordPress, so Google Analytics, right? We want to see what type of traction we're getting, how many hits, how many views, how many registrations. And then the last thing will be something like Salesforce or ClickUp, where we can track our project management, right? Seeing like all the registrations that are coming, on making the workflow from the registrations onto the rest of the event planning. So those three things I will say are the most important tools.
Okay, so I kind of want to like run it back a little bit. You were talking about landing pages and you said that yours are built on WordPress. So
Correct.
Talk to me about why you choose to build your landing pages on WordPress as opposed to the million other platforms out there.
Sure, because WordPress, interacts very well with Google and Google Analytics and any of our other, marketing tools that we use for, like I said before, something like a Salesforce or like a project management or event management platform such as ClickUp, or obviously for registrations, we use Zapier for registrations on our website. So that interacts really well with WordPress. And being able to have Google Analytics, attached to our landing pages, make tracking the performance, the results, the ROI, and everything else very seamlessly. So that's why we use WordPress.
Yeah, that's fair. WordPress is actually the platform that has the most websites built on. I think right now, last time I checked, it was 90% of the world's websites were built on WordPress, which I think is crazy. Like they're like a whole monopoly.
It is, but you know what? It's because it's user friendly, right? It's like very you run into less problems, and there's more of different applications that can interact with it as opposed to others. Obviously there's like the more value type, if you do a Wix or you do something like that, and it's not going to give you the capabilities that a WordPress website is going to give you. So that's kind of, if you're like in a serious business that you're generating tons of leads and everything else, you're going to go with like the best platform out there. And right now it's WordPress.
That's hilarious. Like I actually have an entire like blog post and like 2 YouTube videos that talk about that and say exactly that. So thank
Yeah,
you for basically co-signing because sometimes people think
no
I'm
problem. And I didn't read them ahead of time, so just
okay,
so people
great,
know.
great, great. This was not planned. This was not
Yes,
planned. So
exactly.
you're talking about like landing pages, right? Versus like solo event website build outs. Why
Yeah.
do you go with landing pages versus like an independent website build out?
So I do manage two types of events, right? The events that are we are getting people to register and maybe pay for attendance, and I also run the ones that are more for retention for our clients. So if I'm doing a retention event, I'm gonna do a full-on website, right? Because in this case, I'm not trying to gain their business, I'm trying to keep their business. So I want to give them a lot more features. I want to make sure I touch on all the benefits of the event, the venue, the things that they're going to get, visuals and everything else, and a more detailed registration form, agenda, and everything else, because these are my clients. Now, if I'm doing the other one, which is like I'm attracting my specific target audience to this event, I gotta be very quick in letting them know the value and where they're signing up for and the form and the price, right? It's gotta be right there. I can't have them look at pages and pages of website to get to this information. It has to be upfront. That's why we go with landing pages when we're doing our events of that nature, so we can have in one page everything they need to know to sign up. The content on the top of the page is gonna be very catchy, and it's going to tell them exactly what's in there for them. That's why.
Yeah, so that's really fair. So what you're saying is like the larger website build outs people who already know, like, and trust you, and then
Yeah,
the landing pages for the people who are just like, what value are you giving me or not? If I don't know the value, I'm leaving.
exactly. And also, it's a lot easier to track your analytics through a landing page when you're trying to see which campaigns are bringing you the business, right? So if you have a big website and they're going through different pages, it's a little more difficult for you to find out which page is the one that is convincing them to fill in the form as opposed to a landing page, right? If I have my social media campaign going to this landing page, and then I have my Google Ads campaign going to the same landing page, but with a different UTM code, then I know, which one is bringing more people, right? So I can utilize my budget more intelligently, right? Because if everybody's 80% of my leads are coming through social media and I only have 20 on Google, so maybe I need to kill this campaign and put the money here, right? So that's another reason why I like to use landing pages when I'm doing something like that.
That's fair. I kind of want to like run it back just a little bit. What are
Mhm.
you doing today to have like sold out corporate events that really maximize on like your ROI?
So really what I'm doing right now is utilizing a multi-channel approach, right? So I'm going to have ads going out in different type of social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, on depending if it's a B2B, it's going to be LinkedIn, right? At the same time, I'm going to be sending out some Google ads. And at the same time, I'm going to be sending emails through my email list, right? So I'm getting them from every side I can. And then you are tracking, right? Optimizing your campaign. So daily tracking of what type of performance each one of these mediums is creating you, right? On the last event I did, I tried some YouTube advertising that actually didn't work very well. So that campaign was killed pretty quickly and the money was put back onto Facebook, which was the one that was creating the more registrations. So that's kind of my approach right now, is going out there with digital marketing, which is a lot more cost effective than anything else at the moment, in all channels, and then optimize it and track it so I can move the money to whichever medium is giving me the most results. And email campaigns are really, it's a list that we've been building through the years of people that have been subscribing to our different newsletters or whatever it is. So those are always good to go out because it really doesn't cost you anything just to send out the emails. So
That's fair. I think that's a really great segue into what do you think that a corporate event marketer should do to maintain the same level of event returns with
Mhm.
a lower annual budget? Because we know, like, almost everybody's annual budget when it comes to marketing or events right now is getting cut, which
Yes,
it
yes.
grinds my gears, but we won't talk too much about it.
I know, unfortunately, with inflation and everything, I've seen that change, basically the thing that you have to do is to think outside the box. So this is the time that maybe what you have been doing for the last 5 years that was working perfectly for you needs to be revised and see how you can achieve the same results by spending less money. Again, you got to look at every part of the event, right? Starting with how are you promoting it and how much money you are spending on that. So again, if Facebook ads are being more cost effective and they're giving you more leads for less money than Google, then move your advertising to there, right? If your email list is giving you great results, then do more emails, right? Just make sure that anything you're doing is you're tracking it daily. I mean, in my team, we track these things daily to make sure we're not spending unnecessary money on something that is not giving us any leads or any registrations. And obviously, on the other side of the planning the event is just you got to get more sponsors. That's basically it. Get sponsors to help you pay for the event because they want to be in front of your audience. They want to be in front of your attendees. So give them the chance to have a booth there, have a 30-minute presentation, whatever it is, for them to sponsor certain parts of the event. So those are the two things I will say is going to help you give the same value with less money.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like that is going to be a really handy dandy tip. Earlier, you talked about email and the email list that you were putting together.
Uh-huh.
Some people would say email marketing is not a thing anymore. Do you believe that email marketing still works for corporate events?
I do. And again, you're not going to use it by itself, right? You're just not going to say, oh, I'm just going to send invites through my email and hope that everybody signs up. That's not going to happen because obviously, as you well know, people have been getting bombarded with emails and people are like, no, they no
All
longer
day,
see them
every
anymore,
day.
right? But if it's your curated list that you've been, nurturing for years and years and years, it's a good another part of your campaign that you should be utilizing, right? Because it's not going to cost you any extra money except for the whatever you're paying for your email marketing platform, whatever you're using. It's people that anyways you're going to be sending some information to nurture them and stay on top of their mind for an option whenever they want to take action for an event or something like that. So I will say that it's supplemental to everything that you're doing.
So I think understanding that it's a supplement is actually really important. So I love that you said that. Okay, so something that we do, or like, let me not say we do for ourselves, but we recommend to our clients. We don't offer it as a service, but just a recommendation, good practices. We always talk about segmenting your email list, right? So like,
Exactly.
when I say even segmenting it based on like how you're gonna send it. So you may have, and if you're using an email platform that doesn't allow you to segment your audience, then use a different one because
No,
that one's
don't use
trash.
it. Exactly.
Yeah. But you send like maybe like at 8 or 9 a.m. you send to the people who always open. So like you send to the people who like, they open 90% of the time. But then at like, 11, 12 o'clock, then you send to the people who open at 50% of the time. Because, sometimes you send like all your emails at once. And what happens is that sometimes you go to spam and you go to your likelihood of going to spam is higher because you're just sending to the whole list. And so like the platforms that are receiving these emails are like, oh, well, these are going to spam. This email that is coming from is not that great. So when you send to the people who are more likely to open first, it increases your deliverability as you get like lower and lower to the people who don't open as often. So that was just something I really wanted to say out loud. Because when people say it doesn't work, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. At least 70% of our business comes from email. So I don't really know how I feel about that. So
Well,
thanks for Mhm,
Yeah,
go-
like I said, it's really about staying in front of your email list and nurturing them, right?
mhm,
Because otherwise it's kind of like cold calling, right? If I got a list yesterday, and they're not familiar with me, probably the time that it's going to take them to decide to take action on something that I'm sending is going to be a little higher than
mhm,
with other social media or Google ads or something like that, because usually that means that they're out there searching, right?
mhm.
Searching for this and this and that. So they're a little more eager to take action. But I'm not saying that email marketing is dead. I just feel like it's a it shouldn't be the only, it doesn't matter what it is. You shouldn't just be doing social media ads or just be doing Google ads or just be doing email. You should be doing all, because that will increase, one thing helps the other and helps the other, right? Because it's like marketing 101. You can't
Mhm.
have, lead generation without branding. Branding is going to have lead generation. So you have to have both.
Gotcha. So do you prefer like search-based or engagement-based content? And which do you think benefits the corporate marketer the most? The corporate event marketer.
Well, engagement content is fantastic because obviously you're being a lot more targeted towards your audience. You're trying to find, where they're clicking on, where they're going, what are they searching, and everything else. So you're like a little bit more targeted than search. But I can't see how you can do any campaigns without search content. I mean, is like search content is going to help you being found, and then the engagement is going to help you really target your campaign. So I will say that you have to have both. I can't say I prefer one to the other,
Yeah.
because it also depends on what is your goal and the type of event that you're promoting.
Yeah, so like for me, I typically say like search-based content is really where you talk about the problem. Like that's when you like really try to make your audience problem aware, and then
Yep.
engagement-based content is like when they already know what the problem is and you're really trying to increase brand visibility. So that's that twofold that you were talking about earlier. I
Yep.
feel like when it comes to like corporate event marketers during the event,
Mhm.
engagement-based content is the best, but before the event, search-based content might be like where you want to start, right? Like get them to the event, and then when they get there, like figure out how to do some like user-generated stuff, figure out how
Yep.
to like fold them into like the social media campaign and have it be a really interactive experience. So yeah, I
Exactly.
can understand what, having
Yeah.
not necessarily choosing one or the other. So
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about choosing one or the other, right?
Yeah.
These two platforms are definitely what I would think are like now going to be regarded as like heavily search based. And you think that they're not equal in that way, but I think they are. So like TikTok or Google, like how are they comparable, and why should corporate event marketers pay attention to like the evolution of those platforms?
I will say that right now, because TikTok is not that, it's not like it's brand new, but it hasn't been out there for so long. It's really about your target audience, right? Obviously, a younger target audience you're going to be more successful on TikTok because they're utilizing TikTok now as their Google, right? So if you're going with a younger audience, then TikTok is probably going to work better for you than Google. Again, Google has been out there forever. There's a lot of people advertising on Google, so there's a lot more competition. TikTok is still kind of like unfamiliar for a lot of people, and they don't know how to use it.
Mhm.
So it's easier, it's less competition for you to, stand out on TikTok. But again, it depends on your audience. For our company, our audience is a little bit older in age. So for me, Google is going to work better than TikTok, but it doesn't mean that I'm not on TikTok. I'm also on TikTok, but I will probably put about 70% of my resources on Google and 30% on TikTok until I start getting some momentum. And then I can start,
Yeah,
balancing that out a little bit.
that's fair. All right,
Yeah.
so now we're gonna kind of turn the lights on you a little bit. So you posted something on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The power of social media marketing is undeniable, but
Mhm.
it's not just about having a presence on the platform. It's about creating a strategy that resonates with your audience and drives results.
Mhm.
What have you seen corporate events marketers do on social media that like make you cringe every time you see it, and why?
Yes, having the same type of post over and over, right? You have to have variety and show different angles and different things about your events or your company. Obviously, if your main purpose is to drive people to your events, it's great that you have a lot of content related to those events. But also, people are going to want to know what you are all about, where your company, how, where, where they come from. Some fun stuff showing personality of the people that work in the company. Yourself maybe showing some events that you participated in or something like that. I mean, you always have to put a face to the brand, right? So I see a lot of like repetitive content about the event this, event that. Another thing that drives me crazy is that you put an ad for the event, you click on it, there's no date or no location that is right there, right? You have to go dig for it, or you click on the form and the form doesn't work. Those type of things really drive me crazy. And unfortunately, I see it a lot, right? It's like kind of like wasting money if you didn't test your landing page and your form before sending your ads. Make sure everything is working out and that the event location and dates are like very clear right there. Nobody needs to be like, digging for it. So those are the things that kind of like drive me crazy.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, quality assurance 101.
Yes,
If
exactly.
they don't know the date, time, and location, throw it away. If the buttons don't work, throw it away. Don't
Exactly.
put it
And
out there. You're just
you
gonna
will be surprised of how
you're gonna be
many of those are
you're
there.
gonna be paying and losing. You're gonna be paying for leads that don't ever convert because you didn't give them a way to convert.
Exactly.
So yeah, thank you for the gems there. All right, so another LinkedIn post. You repurposed this one from TikTok.
Okay.
It was like a video. I think you were dancing, and it was like, "You have
Yes.
too many leads. Sorry about that. Let me get you some more." And I thought that was hilarious. Like, what should event marketers do if their companies start complaining that they got too many leads? I feel like that's a great problem to have, but like, what should they do?
It is a great problem to have, and that's kind of what I did that post because it's obviously us being the marketing department here, we do generate leads for our sales department, and sometimes it's like the usual fight between marketing and sales, right? So I think it's a great problem to have, and I don't see how you can have too many leads, right? If you have two people that are the only ones reaching out your leads and you have too many leads to be reached out in time, then put them in a funnel, send them more information, do whatever you need to do to stay up in their heads before somebody can reach to them. But I don't think that's a problem at all. There's no reason to be complaining about more leads. It should be like, yeah, give me more.
Okay, no, it's funny. By default, like when I saw that post, I thought to myself, my solution would have been to hire more salespeople.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
if like the way that these leads are coming in are duplicatable, scalable, and consistent, I'm hiring more salespeople.
Just hire more
Like,
people. Exactly. Yeah.
anyway, I just thought it was really fun to just ask, like, because I can imagine that there are a lot of people who are just like, actually, I remember, I'm not even going to say the year because that'll just give the company away. But there was a time where we went to this trade show and we brought back maybe like 200 and something leads, and the sales guys were pissed.
Why?
And we're
About
like,
the
they're
outcome.
like, who's gonna follow up with all these people? Who's gonna
You
enter this
are.
into the CRM? I mean, now in fairness, right? Like, I think the biggest problem for them was like, who's gonna enter it into the CRM? And I was like, relax, because like it wasn't the time where the QR code scanning thing, like it was too difficult at the time. Like technology hadn't caught up to the technology.
Yeah.
So I just talked to my boss and I was like, can we just have customer service put all these in a list for them and have them put it into the CRM? And they were like, yeah, sure. So, kind of like just, using some internal resources to help them out. But like they were pissed. They were like legitimately pissed.
Oh, I believe you, you know, I mean, I started on the sales side and then I moved into marketing, so I get it, but, you know, those are good problems to have, you know, like you said, you resolve the issue by getting some help with customer service to input the leads, and then it wasn't such a big of a deal, right?
Yeah.
Now technology has, you know, progress enough that,
To
you
help.
know, any leads can just populate into your CRM and nobody has to be entering them. So like I said, to me, it's not a problem. It's actually a blessing, a great thing to have.
Well, Erika, thank you so much for chatting with me. Before I let you go, I do have one more question I'd like to ask you.
Yep.
Can you give us 3 books, blogs, or podcast recommendations that every event marketer should read or listen to?
Well, obviously they should be listening to your podcast, of course.
I love that. Thank you.
There's a lot of books out there on blogs and everything else. To be honest with you, what I love to do and how I get a lot of my new ideas and trends in the event marketing industry is I attend conferences, trade conferences, and those are really fantastic because I work in the financial industry. So when I join these conferences, it's usually other people that are doing events in the financial industry, and we can all share notes and we can all share, you know, the different things that we're doing. And that's when I really get the best ideas. So I'm kind of like a person that learns through real life experience. So that's what I prefer that than to actually reading a book.
Can you recommend a couple conferences?
The Beyond Collection. That's
okay.
It's all, you know, it's people that plan events for the financial industry getting together with hotels and like going over, you know, their you know, their events and everything. So that's for example, that's a great one. But you know, I also like the digital marketing conference that is going to be this year in New York, I think in September. That's a really good one too, but that's more on the side of digital marketing, like how you get people to your event more than the planning. The Beyond Collection is more about the planning of the event.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time and your willingness, Erika. I will see you around.
Yeah. Thank you, Yanique.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Eventus 365. We hope you enjoyed listening and learning something new today. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform to help event professionals discover us. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and sign up for our newsletter for behind-the-scenes content and updates on upcoming events. If you have any suggestions for future topics or guests, or just want to say hello, you can reach us at info@eventus365.com. We love hearing from our listeners. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Eventus 365.